Hey everyone, and welcome to today's explainer. Let's just dive right into this, shall we? Today we are looking at something that affects almost every single one of us. Yet it's kind of crazy that it's rarely taught in schools: money management and debt. We're going to be using the debt-free blueprint to completely reconstruct your financial life. Think of me as your financial architect today. We're going to use this whole architectural blueprint metaphor to break down exactly how you can tear down the stress of debt and rebuild a rock-solid financial foundation that literally lasts for generations. But, before we even think about building, I want you to ask yourself a pretty provocative question. What is the true cost of your debt? Most people assume the cost of debt is simply the amount they borrowed, plus maybe a little bit of interest on top. But honestly, it is so much more than that. Debt isn't just borrowed money. It's this ongoing drain on your future freedom. It dictates where you can live, the opportunities you can actually afford to take, and let's be real, the peace of mind you have when your head hits the pillow at night. And that brings us to a really dangerous concept: opportunity cost. Basically, it's exactly what you sacrifice when you choose one option over another. Every single naira you pay in unnecessary interest, that is a stolen opportunity. It's money that you can't use to start a business or invest in real estate or let compound in a mutual fund. Debt literally steals your future wealth before you even realize those opportunities were on the table.
So how do we fix this whole shebang? Well, here are our architectural plans for today. First, we'll look at the debt trap. Second, facing your financial reality. Third, debt elimination methods. Fourth, accelerating your freedom. And finally, building lasting wealth. We've got a structured, step-by-step path to guide you from wherever you're sitting right now, all the way to lasting wealth.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the debt trap, or what I like to call the cracked foundation. A lot of people think a debt trap happens overnight just because of one massive irresponsible loan. But actually, scratch that. It's rarely the case. The trap usually sneaks up on you. It's the compound effect of really small, recurring borrowing. You borrow a little for a new phone, then maybe a little more for rent, then you take a salary advance. Small debts pile up, interest piles up, and suddenly, boom, the foundation is cracked and the pressure is totally overwhelming. Let's make this abstract idea of opportunity cost a bit more visceral. If you're paying just 50,000 naira a month toward consumer debt over 5 years, that equals 3 million naira right out of your pocket. That is 3 million naira of lost wealth that could have been invested in your future. It's kind of staggering when you look at it like that.
But we definitely need to be clear here. Not all debt is the same. There is a massive difference between good debt and bad debt. Good debt is basically a tool. It helps create future value. Think about education loans that bump up your earning potential, or a business loan that's actually generating profit. Bad debt, on the flip side, just finances consumption. We're talking luxury items, high-interest consumer loans, expensive vacations. You get the idea. So the absolute crucial point here is, before you borrow, ask yourself, does this build my earning potential, or is it just draining my resources?
Moving right along to Section 2, facing your financial reality. In construction terms, this is surveying our site. We need to shift away from the emotional stress of debt and get into cold, hard analysis. Financial freedom begins with brutal financial honesty. Because let's face it, you absolutely cannot fix what you refuse to measure. The ultimate measure of your financial reality boils down to one super simple formula: assets minus liabilities equals net worth. I'm just going to state this bluntly. Knowing your exact net worth is where your power and control finally begin. And hey, even if you run this calculation today and the number is negative, do not panic. Seriously, so many successful entrepreneurs started with a negative net worth. But you've got to face the numbers without any excuses. Let's clearly distinguish the two sides of that equation so we're all on the same page. On the left are your assets. These put money into your pocket: cash, investments, land, property, businesses. Simple enough. On the right are your liabilities. These take money out: loans, credit card balances, unpaid obligations. Your one goal, your entire mission from this explainer, is to build up that left column and completely demolish the right. Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, debt elimination methods. Before we can start building, we have to bring in the demolition crew. This right here is the tactical core of our blueprint. To clear away the old debts, we need a written, specific strategy. And I want to introduce you to one of the most powerful demolition tools out there, the Debt Snowball method. Let's walk through these steps because they are highly actionable. Step 1. List all your debts from smallest balance to largest. Step 2. Pay the minimums on every single one of them. Step 3, direct every extra naira you can find toward the smallest debt until it is totally gone. Step 4, repeat the process. Why does this work so well? It's basically physics. It creates momentum and acceleration. Plus, there's absolutely nothing like the immense psychological high of taking a big red marker and crossing a debt off your list forever. By knocking out that small debt quickly, you get a massive win and realize, wait a minute, I can actually do this.
Now, you might be wondering, how does this compare to that other popular strategy, the avalanche method? Well, the snowball method is totally optimized for your behavior and motivation, but the avalanche method is optimized for pure mathematics. With the avalanche, you attack the debt with the highest interest rate first, regardless of how big or small the balance is. Mathematically, sure, the avalanche saves you the most money in the long run, but behaviorally, the snowball gives you those quick wins that actually keep you from quitting halfway through. So what's the best method? Honestly, it's the one you will consistently stick to.
All right, Section 4, Accelerating Your Freedom. The site is officially cleared, so it's time to switch from playing defense to offense and start building up. You can't construct a massive building by only cutting back on your expenses. You actually have to increase your materials. And that means bringing in essential habits and high-income skills. Spend less than you earn. Pay yourself first. Track every single naira. Those are your foundational defensive habits. But to really build up quickly, you need the offense. Go learn high-income skills like copywriting or digital marketing and start a side hustle. There's a hard limit to how much you can cut from a budget, right? But there is virtually no limit to what you can earn. Imagine starting a side hustle that brings in an extra 80,000 naira a month. If you apply that entirely to your debt, you could dramatically slice your repayment timeline right in half.
As your income goes up and your debt goes down, you enter what is called the wealth cycle. Less debt leads to more savings, which allows for more investments, which inevitably results in more wealth. It's a beautiful thing. But quick timeout. A little caution before you start investing heavily. You absolutely must establish a basic emergency fund first. Aim for a quick 50,000 to 200,000 naira just to act as a financial shock absorber. Because if your car breaks down on the side of the road and you have zero cash, the stress is terrible, and you're going to go right back into debt to fix it. Protect the cycle. And finally, Section 5, Building Lasting Wealth. We've made it to the finished estate. We're expanding our timeline here. We are moving way beyond mere day-to-day survival and focusing on the long-term goal of generational wealth. The crucial point here is mastering the 4 pillars of lasting wealth. Number 1, earn. Your ability to earn is your very foundation. You have to continually increase your value in the marketplace. Number 2, save. This creates your unshakable stability. Number 3, invest. Saving protects your money, but investing is the engine that actually grows it faster than inflation. And number 4, protect. You need to use insurance and legal structures to make sure that the wealth you've poured your life into building actually lasts. When it comes to that third pillar, investing, there are some incredibly reliable, beginner-friendly avenues that really utilize the magic of compound growth. We're talking treasury bills, mutual funds, index funds, real estate, and business ownership. Now, a very quick note on this. While things like Web3 and digital assets sound super exciting, please prioritize your education before jumping into highly volatile assets. Never invest in something you don't deeply understand. Start small, be incredibly consistent, and just let time do the heavy lifting for you. I want to close our architectural metaphor today with this really powerful quote straight from the source material. Debt freedom is the foundation. Wealth creation is the structure. Generational wealth is the legacy. Remember, building wealth is a process. It is not a sudden event. It requires a really solid plan, unshakable discipline, and daily action. I'll leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. If your financial habits continue completely unchanged for the next 10 years, where exactly will you be? Will you be trapped in the exact same cycle, or will you be standing proudly in your finished estate? The blueprint is in your hands now. It is time to start laying your new foundation today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.